It's me. It's M-A-P.
He gets it more than the rest of you. He's better at this than you.
And we are back with a podcast called Fresh, Part 2, Episode 15. We continue this episode already in progress. Enjoy.
Finally, a podcast called Fresh has returned. Oh, God.
Welcome back to APCF, a podcast called Fresh. I am Kels. That is Maps. And we're going to talk about House of X number 5 and 6 and Powers of X number 6. We're going to wrap this bad boy up and not talk about X-Men for like at least probably like 3 episodes. Who knows? Because X-Men number 1 comes out soon. I'll probably read it. It might be
We're going to read it, but
Who
it's just
knows?
about getting in. And of course, let y'all know it might be a little gap. My wife's having a baby on the 23rd.
Happy baby, man.
Yeah, so my boy Jabari will be here. So I'm trying to stockpile this stuff. So we're going to get it together. And that's been a little bit lacking my stuff. But anyway, back to X-Men, as you were saying, sir.
So, one big thing we skipped over on House of X5 that, we were talking about the resurrection of all the mutants that died in space and everything. But there was a big reveal of a certain big baddie in the X-Men universe coming to Krakoa. In fact, it wasn't just one baddie, it was several of them. I mean, there was Exodus and Mystique was there. Mystique's been there, but Mystique seemed reluctant to be there, And Wolverine even makes a comment about, you sure about this? It's not too late to change your mind. And Xavier's like, an opportunity to change is exactly what I'm offering Wolverine. And
I just love how Wolverine is always like, I don't fuck with them. just so you know, I don't fuck with that guy. No, he's not cool. But, yeah.
Yes, I agree. And then the main dude comes out, man, Apocalypse.
Oh, yes, I love how he just came out and he's like, I love how smug he is.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, are we going to have any problem? Why would there be a problem? There's no reason to have a problem. We're all fair. Then it's like, I like how my man's just such a dick about it.
Oh, man.
And he's like, he's like, I'm home. There's nothing new here. And it's like, dog, Apocalypse is the man.
And Magneto's still Magneto to the end, though. He's like, we need to hear the words. He's like, I
need to hear you say
I will fight you on this ground right now. And then he said, one people from this day forward, man. And then the handshake, Apocalypse and Xavier shaking hands. Did you ever think you'd see the day?
And I like how he didn't miss the opportunity to rub it in his face.
Oh, well, of course.
For centuries, I've been trying to say this. Finally, you've got good for you. And he's like, yeah. And then to show him like, dog, the only thing I wanted us to do was to thrive and succeed. That's what's up.
It's crazy that all these differing ideals that have been X-Men lore for years are now united under one idea now. And this handshake is essentially, it's big because, like, in the grand scheme of things, if we're just going to roll on over to Powers 5 and 6 now.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of things, man, because that was the only thing we had to mention from
pretty much.
Or not Powers. So we're going to talk about House 6 and Power 6. That like, it's just amazing that ultimately the X-Men, who have always been a strike force, as you said, they are now literally like the perfect military unit. Yeah. And now anything goes, and they're going to do whatever it takes to protect theirs, man. So the final issue of House of X6 was quite the doozy, man.
Yeah, it was. It's like, I like how he just, he put his stuff out there. He told the world. It's just so much information. Oh man, it's just, where am I going to start? Well, first off, you said House of X6.
House of X6.
Yeah, this is when they finally put out the whole entire council, except one person, which I thought was ill.
Because Emma hasn't named the Red King. That's what it said in the book.
Yeah.
That there literally is not a Red King at this point. So, to be determined.
And it's dope how it's like, I like how he has it balanced out. You got one team is the Autumn, you got Professor X, Magneto, and Apocalypse. And you got pretty much each person, like, they balance the other people in the group out. Just like, you got Winter, you got Sinister, Exodus, and Mystique. I want a group of people I can't trust. together at the same table when I want to be like, where the motherfuckers at? Right there.
Right.
Okay, bet.
Exactly.
You got Spring, you got the Hellfire Club, you got the Summer Table, Storm, Jean, Nightcrawler. I like how they got Nightcrawler and Storm on there, because anybody knows anything, them people will keep your ass honest. Krakoa, of course, you got Cypher and Krakoa. Then I like how they got the great captains. They all got their own power. Bishop, Gorgon, Magic, and Cyclops.
I want to know who Bishop paid off.
That's what I was about to be like, dog. That's like Benedict Arnold coming back and getting a spot in the government. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I guess something that may be followed up on in the coming months, I hope.
Well, he is a hell of a strategist.
Yeah, amen to that. House of X6, man, a lot of it came down to ultimately what they were going to do. They made some laws, man.
Yeah.
They made their first laws, and surprisingly enough, I mean, not surprisingly, but the main thing is they want to make more mutants, they want to murder no human, and they want to respect the sacred land.
Yeah. Very, very, very solid laws.
And then, of course, we all know the one mutant who has not obeyed these rules this entire time, man. And that would be your boy, Victor Creed.
First, I wanted to be like, that was some, but if anybody has had it coming for that amount of time, it's him. You mean, you know, and as a people,
yeah.
If you want to make an example, if you tell them like, dog, we're done. Victor Creed's not a problem anymore. This guy means business. Okay, then cool. And I like how they made the rules and how they were just real logical. Side note, also think it's funny, Sinister is popping mad shit through this whole thing.
Oh, yes, he is. Yeah, he is. So even right here, he's like, so long, pack light, safe travel.
Yeah, I just love how it's just like the council, and kudos to, them for the writing in this. It's like they all, first of all, I like how Magneto took the head and nobody asked questions.
Right. It was no problem.
Nobody said shit. But I like how my man, like Apocalypse, has brought up a good point. How is it murder if you kill someone who cannot die? How do you know you're worthy to lead if you're not tested? Is he serious? Yeah, I kind of believe he is. And I also like how Apocalypse didn't want to put up no argument. He went on that bull like, alright, cool. Side note, I see him being a problem in the future, but we'll get on that another time.
Well, of course, there's Apocalypse, but one of my favorite parts of this scene, and then I want to ask you a weird question about Victor.
Bet.
So one of my favorite parts of this scene is when Mystique, and don't get me wrong, like, is this still canon that Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure nothing got rewritten over the time period.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, so she's like, we haven't heard, oh, hold on. Of course, my phone's not coming down. She's like, oh, we haven't heard from the righteous among us. Like calling out Kurt on his values and everything and his relationship with God. And she's like, tell us, Kurt, where is your foolish province and all this? Where is your God's wisdom? And then my man Kurt sits there, man, and he thinks for a second. And he's like, we need to make more mutants, which obviously is true. But then when it comes down to the decision, man, Kurt says, it shames me, but I agree. He's got to go.
That's why I was like, I love Kurt. He is kind of corny, but he's not whack. And even like, side note, I like how with Mystique, I love how well placed words with less than a paragraph. She cut a damn line through everybody by just saying off top, this guy who's on our side answers to a higher power that none of you fuck with.
Right.
Let's ask that guy who's controlled by something other than just his mutantdom. And then he hit her back with the smart line. Well, shoot, they doubt me because they won't think I'm Christian. What would I say? Well, common sense. What God would say? Make more people. Have more mutants. And none of them had anything to say about that. And I thought that was so dope. And like you said, when it came time to judging Sabretooth, it's like, dog, somebody got to take this L.
It's perfect. I wish he would have said that. Can you imagine if he'd been like, somebody got to take this L, dog?
Somebody got to jump on this grenade, B. And it's like, dude, who else is you going to get? And you got to think about it. Out of all the bad guys, he's the only one that doesn't benefit them guys at all. And it makes it so dope when you go back and then you see when they first got him and stuff. And it was like, oh, yeah, they wasn't tripping. They was planning this shit all along.
Yes.
And in fairness, he said, I told you not to kill them people. All right, then straight. And it's just, I thought that junk was dope. It literally, like, everybody had their 2 cents to put in on that junk.
Oh, I know,
Storm
man.
said, classic black woman line. This sentence has been long overdue. You knew she had to say some shit about that.
I thought Emma said, I don't care. But it was Sebastian
that was a
said
Sebastian Shaw said, I don't care. She said, she's like, oh, absolutely. Because you know Emma don't give a damn.
Yeah, and then the only person who seemed like she may have given a fuck a little bit was Raven, because she's like, just get this over with.
Because she knew what it was from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's why her whole thing is like, that's why I think I love Raven. You never know if she's on your side. And she's only on your side as long as it's to her best interest.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even with that, it had to be somebody, because if you think about it, it either was going to be her or him. But you can use her because she can do shit. Sabretooth, you already got Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you need the crazy one? And people say Wolverine's the crazy one, so, let's
get rid of him. At least we got the one we can use.
Exactly. And then ultimately, man, like, he got taken by Krakoa, man. Like, Professor X said, you're sentenced and you're not going to die or anything. You're going to be in stasis deep inside Krakoa, alive but immobile, aware but unable to act on it. And for how long? Forever, Creed. For that is how long mutant justice lasts.
It's like the N words of an episode of Mutant Justice. Forever. And the only thing I really wasn't commenting, I didn't like the obvious foreshadowing of him coming back.
Yeah.
But I know it's gonna happen. It's comics. But I'm like, just we can do without Sabretooth for maybe, 5 years? I mean, you could do without Sabretooth for a while.
I would love it if Sabretooth went away for every 5 years, because if even as people complain that Wolverine's overused too much, he's everywhere. You know who's always pops up and gets my damn nerves because he's not written right all the time? Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Get rid of him for 5 years. I'm fine with it.
Then you can get rid of him, wait till they forget about him. All you gotta do is use him in a plot to set up Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverine's killing people, blah, blah, blah. Because another thing I like they did about Sabretooth, the nigga was smart. He stopped being crazy and was actually running, I think, the hand for a while.
Yeah, he was.
Sabretooth is dope as hell, but it's like, yeah, do away with him for a while. We can do without Sabretooth. I get the whole thing. Mutant Justice, I thought that was cool. It was fitting. They couldn't really kill him. They didn't kill him. But then it's like, I like how Professor X is like, it's distasteful, I know. This business of running a nation.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you thought Sabretooth was like the Uncle Tom of mutants.
I would almost say, probably. I wouldn't even say the Uncle Tom. I would just say, he would just, as far as mutants go, he would probably be a coon. He would be the coon. He's the one who's making the rest of us look bad. Like, no matter what you do, like, oh, we built this, and we saved the world. And Sabretooth just wiped out a monastery. Son of a bitch! He's like the coon of, he's like of the mutants. Like Chris Rock was talking about the difference between black people and niggas. Mm-hmm. I guess it would be like Sabretooth and mutants. Grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, man. So what did you think of the big old party that they had at the end of the issue?
I thought it was dope. I didn't feel comfortable with all the celebrating.
I didn't like Wolverine being cool with Jean and Scott, like super close and everything, because at the same time I like that love triangle, but that's just me.
That confused me. Also, in the other scene, when Cyclops sent Jean over there, I'm like, did he just hook up a threesome?
Oh, I know, right? I know, because like she gave Emma the beer, Emma took the beer, and then she shoots Cyclops to look back.
And then Alex is like hype as hell in the next scene.
You're totally gonna do that right there.
That's what it looks like. If you hooked up a threesome with Emma Frost and Jean Grey, that's what your nigga would do at a party right there.
Cyclops is the man.
He is definitely the man. It's like I remember that's a whole comic series within itself, how my man just keeps rebounding. And he's the shit. Also, I like how they had Jubilee in the background here.
Oh, I know. Shout out to Jubilation. Who did Wolverine give the beer to, man?
He went and gave the beer to my man. I forgot the dude from The Hand. He's the blind samurai. I cannot remember his name for nothing. I want to say, is it it's not Hydra. It's something. The Kraken. I think it's the Kraken.
The Kraken?
I think his name is the Kraken or something like that. Yeah.
I was confused because I'm like, so I was like, who? I was like, who's he giving beer to? And
do you remember the one when Wolverine, I think like he died and the Hand took over his body?
Well, yeah, wasn't that Mark Millar and
Yeah,
John
I think
Romita?
that's the dude. I think the Kraken, that's his name. I think that's the Kraken. That's the dude who did it.
Wait, they're just gonna they're just gonna interfere to this. Wait.
That's why that scene. That's why it was so powerful. The things that was happening right there. I'm like, second of all, I want to be at a music party where Dazzler is there.
Oh no,
I want it.
I'm not one big on saying this, but that shit would be lit.
That shit would be mad lit.
Yes, it would, man. So we got one issue left, man. So let's go ahead and take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Powers of X number 6.
Oh, before I forget, before we leave, 1 second, I think it's ill that how my man Magneto, when he gets happy, first thing he says is, they should have killed us when they had the chance.
A true survivor through and through, man.
He's always in the war. It's like, dog, we happy, we won. We wish I could have killed them when they were kids. Like, what, dude? We won. All I know is war. I'm sorry, dog.
No, that's awesome, man. You're absolutely right. We'll be right back, guys.
My daddy's podcast is called Hyphenation. It's the world's greatest podcast. Barack Obama approved. On Hyphenation, my daddy talks about all kinds of cool things. And sometimes I'm on the podcast too. Sometimes he has his friend Marcus on. Sometimes he stays up really late and he's tired the next day. But it's worth it. But he loves this podcast and I love his podcast. So I really want you to listen to Hyphenation so Daddy doesn't get sad. He really doesn't get sad though because he has me. Oh wait, please listen to Hyphenation. Thanks y'all. I love the podcast, so please try to join. But if you know him.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can we hear it now?
We the guys that do our job. Y'all must be the other one. It's a podcast called Fresh Bitches.
Okay, yo, what's up? We are back. Podcast called Fresh. It's me, MAP. And also, the great, incomparable, Kill Conley.
Yes, sir.
A.K.A. Tony Wagner. We are back.
Went from Tony Stark
and it was
to
the
Tony
Gorgon.
Wagner. The Gorgon, yes.
Oh, yeah. The Gorgon. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, he's Tony Wagner now. We got to give him something. It's like, you know, it's not, I don't want to see him like, hey, Stank. It's not, yeah. Tony Wagner sounds better.
I'm mad as hell. Wolverine should not be giving the Gorgon a beer. I know it's all about mutant unity right now, but I'm mad as hell. That's
like essentially he gave a beer to somebody who raped his soul.
Exactly, yes. Damn.
He essentially raped his soul. But then again, if Jean Grey can give Emma Frost a beer.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's talk about Powers of X6.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Well, okay. Let's see. Well, I guess the whole thing with this is we got to get into the whole, since we're about to wrap all this up here, the whole phalanx thing, the whole future thing, it really wasn't moving me. It was okay.
Yeah.
And we also said in the beginning, I kind of peeped at what it was. I figured it was going to be like a bookend situation. We really didn't get into it because, again, it just didn't move us.
No, man.
It's like, go ahead, man. What you saying?
No, I was going to say the same thing you were about to be. It's like I said, when Powers X1, when we went over that, I was like, it's real cool to see the future stuff and everything, but I don't understand why we're looking at that right now. So I'm really confused by all that. And then, like, it got better as the series went along, but then with Powers X6, they just went right back and was like, we're just going to confuse y'all motherfuckers even more, and then we're going to make it look obvious that we may go down this path that y'all all suspected we were going to go down in the first place after issue number 2, was it issue number 2?
Yeah.
That they revealed about Moira?
I just think the problem is it's not consistent gravity. Me and you are over here talking about, nigga, like, once you figured it out, like, nigga, that's the Gorgon. He gave that nigga a beer. Oh, shit. Yeah. And then you just go like, yeah, in the future. So basically what happens, humans made this thing. Made a planet that was like a hyper-intelligent. The whole planet was an intelligence. Kind of like the Supreme, like the Kree Supreme High Intelligence or whatever. They wanted to get, what's the thing about, of a guardian civilization so they could ascend. Mm-hmm. The Phalanx came. They're like, all right, bet. We like you. We see what you're talking about. Do you want ascension? The whole thing with that was, it's like, it just seemed like to me, I don't know how they write stuff. I know a lot of times the company puts restrictions on you. And I feel like Jackman or whatever had the idea for the original, like, okay, we're going to do the powers, this and that. And then the rest of it was kind of like to weigh it out. And I'm going to get on the final verdict of that later. But long story short, they try to get the Phalanx to adopt him. Then long story short, they find out that, oh yeah, when we ascend you, we just absorb you. And then you just become one of us forever. And then we just go and give your knowledge out to the world. So that's kind of the thing. And it's kind of like humans gave up their humanity. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like, message that, for the future with the humans. But also in this one part, they said, like, it's one part we'll get in later about how the humans survived. But anyway, I'll let you take over, Kill, from the beginning of this one, man.
Yeah. So, Powers of X6, man, we get the same scene that we got earlier in the series, and let me just say that the cover literally is Moira walking through the bodies of our familiar X-Men, man, and it's that same scene where Moira and Professor X meets, and then he reads Moira's mind, and then we ultimately get a scene where that whatever that blue guy is. Who's the blue guy?
He was a human when they gave up their humanity, when they became like techno whatever.
There you go. Techno-human. They actually have a name for it in here. I'm going to see if I can't find it real quick, but here we go. Homo Novissima. That's what they're called. So essentially, we jump forward to the future. After starting over, and we're back in the year 1000, and then this intelligent mutant robot being is talking to who else? Wolverine, of course.
Of course.
Who never dies. Shout out to Wolverine.
Never dies.
And Wolverine is like, they're having this conversation, and I'm going to assume Krakoa or some, maybe it was in Krakoan. And then all of a sudden he starts speaking in English, and then Wolverine's like, what are you doing talking in English? And the dude says, I'm the librarian. Did languages fascinate me? Especially ones that haven't been spoken in centuries. So that just shows you
Shade.
How long it's been for humans in English to be around. And then all of a sudden, man, I was waiting on her, and then lo and behold, there's Moira. Right there. So they know about Moira, and they know everything about Moira. It's not, they know what she's been doing, that she resurrects, that she remembers everything, that she's been collecting all this information over the years. And ultimately, man, they find out that the final fate of mutants is that mutants are always going to lose, man.
Yeah, they always ended up losing. And it's like, I also, I think also it kind of sucked that after the last one they had, and you see Unity, and then this one they're in a museum, a zoo.
Yeah.
And they've been in there for, I'm assuming, 100 or so years. And this is another reason why we really wasn't big on this, is like it literally takes the air out of everything. We could talk probably another 15 minutes about how lit and live, as we were saying, that party would be. And just all of them coming together and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's just, then you just get them in a museum. And it's like, or a zoo, and it's like, okay, I think it's dope that it's Moira and Wolverine, but it's like, really, dude? It's like, it's just everything we did up to this point. But I get it, we'll go on to that a little bit more. Yeah. But like you were saying, I think it was cool that, like, how it was kind of poetic. The humans wanted to ascend, and by ascending, they pretty much got the attention of a monster. And it was like, oh no, you got my attention.
Yeah. Now
we about to get you, and we about to turn your whole planet into a big old hive mind. And then we're about to, then you find out that, oh, these are the ones we were trying to get their attention. These are the middle guy.
Yep.
There's somebody they answer to. So I thought that was real poetic.
And Moira, of course, it's like, oh, the Phalanx are coming tomorrow to absorb us and everything. And then, of course, like, they even say, like, we're going to send you off planet. And you're not going to be part of this, because we don't want you dying and resurrecting and going forward all this Phalanx knowledge by any means. So you're going to get sent off planet, and he essentially says, if you live past my becoming God, then existing beyond space and time, we will know you forever. And I think it's very likely that we would not tolerate something like you having any power over something like us. And it's just so This is more disheartening than House of X5 was for me when everybody came back, man, because it literally is like, it builds up this great story that the mutants are getting ahead and the minorities are going to win and be ahead and they got a plan, and then it's like, fuck that.
It's not even fuck that. It's just that, like, you got screwed by something that had nothing to... It's like, all right, this rant's been brewing. It's been coming. This is the thing, all right.
Get him.
The whole thing with this, and we're just going to keep it real, because I'm not going to be doing this too much longer. The whole thing with this was that at the end of this, they decide, the dude says, I don't know if I want godhood, and what's godhood if I lose my individuality? So maybe I'm just going to let you go, and my Hail Mary is on you. Then, of course, Wolverine kills her, and this whole thing is that they set up. This whole thing has been like a setup for what is appearing to be for Myra to either be a new antagonist or something. And it's just, to me, it blew my mind because the potential of things that could have happened with this. We were saying in the beginning, the mutants should be like Wakanda. But with they should have their own planet. And it's just like all of that. And I get how they made it and it was self-contained. But this takes away, I complained about bringing people back, but I got that. I got it for the continuity. And it was dope because they didn't say oh yeah, and then if you bury people in Krakoa, they come back to life. Even with the whole way they bring people back to life, you get rid of the one people, they can't bring them back anymore. Then it's the backup. So it's very fallible. I like that. But with this, it's like you just wiped everything. Nothing happened. No risk, anything. And it's just, and I guess the whole point was for the new books to come out. But I just found the whole thing at the end of it just very underwhelming.
And, oh man, the Moira's journal part was kind of cool. And did you get the sense, since Wolverine lives forever and she lives forever, I mean, it never explicitly stated it before, but I kind of felt like there was something between Moira and Wolverine that last time he gutted her.
Well, I mean, how many times has he killed her?
Twice, at least twice that we've seen.
Well, let's be real. We know they've both been on that place for a while. Mm-hmm. Most of the other mutants we saw in there didn't look human-like. So you gotta assume they were getting it in.
Yeah.
Or at least they were friendly at that point.
Yeah.
But, this is the thing I liked how I also thought it was kind of good. And I know I complained about anything. I could watch my own life story at the end of my life and be like, they should have changed this. But I liked how he was basically the mutants lost because you focused on the machines. The machines were never meant to replace anybody. And like my man said, the Sentinels bought us years. Nimrod bought us decades. And he was like, all of that was for us to advance ourselves as the name. It's and I guess that's the new thing, that you guys were supposed to take over. And if you think about it, as evolution works, I mean, as we can see now, when's the last time you ran into a Neanderthal?
Exactly.
That's how it works. And that was the kind of flaw that they were you were trying to coexist with these people. And that's why and even logically with the humans, they have to wipe out the mutants or have to at some point stop them because how they grow and all that stuff. So I got that. But I guess the whole thing, while my ranting and raving and everything, it does make me kind of interested for what comes after.
So we wrap up, man, and then This is the part I hated, Maps, because I literally just read this. Here comes Professor X and Magneto, and they're like, we brought you tea, Moira. How are you doing? And Moira's like, I want no fucking tea.
Yeah.
And that's when the villain vibes really kick in, man.
Yep.
And it's man, these two dudes have literally changed their whole histories in order to live to this moment. And now they're literally, everything seems like it's this council. It's this council. Moira's name is nowhere on that fucking council, yo.
Nope.
Nowhere. And that shit bugs me too, man. Moira has no connection to Krakoa, really.
Mm-mm. And it's I get it. But it's I don't know. And I see they're trying to make her to be the new villain. It's I like the notes. How aggressive she is in pushing these people to do their stuff and what has to be done. Also how she's scared as shit of Destiny.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Like, oh, we gotta bring back Destiny. Oh, and that's another thing. She says, there's not supposed to be no precogs on crack code. Will not tolerate mutants who can see the future. And Professor X, the whole time, we know.
Yeah.
This is the Professor X that I hadn't seen in these 12 issues until this moment. Yes, Moira. Whatever you say, Moira. La 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 la, Moira. Like, oh.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just so many things I could have dealt with more of the fucking council. Just talking about shit. That would have been, it's just, I don't know. It's just for me, Moira to come from being, like, hey, this and that to like, being on some mutant Nick Fury. It just was odd. And then it's not because, oh, she's a woman. I don't care who you are. First of all, don't nobody talk shit to Magneto.
Yeah. So we end back at the party, and then, of course, we see the conversation we didn't see at the end of House of X 6, where essentially the whole doubts linger about, how we always lose. And then Magneto, of course, comes through with more iconic lines. He's like, I'm not ashamed of what I am. Let them try to stop us this time. And then Professor X is like, yes. Let them try. But then you just know in the back, like sitting back in that little no space area, Moira McTaggart's just hanging out, plotting on whatever the hell she's doing.
Yeah, it's
doing.
A lot of variables. Also, you look at Apocalypse. I'll peep this. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
Warriors don't do good during peace, dog.
He does not look thrilled in this moment.
He does not look thrilled at all.
He looks very, very thoughtful and
I have weird feelings. I've seen some of the pictures of him in the other comics later to come, and I've seen Apocalypse in a suit. I don't like it.
In a suit?
In a suit.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I don't like it. It's just, okay, I guess, like, and just another thing, it's just a lot of this, and I'm assuming they setting this up, but it's just, a lot of stuff is being left unsaid here, and I guess maybe that's what they're building on.
Yeah.
And maybe we can look back and after we read stuff and think, oh, this was straight. But it's just, I expected more things to happen, more change. And I'm hoping this is something that's not going to be reversed in a year or so. I want this is something to be going on for the foreseeable future for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting and I would like to see how it plays out. Also, mainly mixing in with the rest of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, because we saw a little glimpse of that, of course, when Professor X made his announcement. We saw the Fantastic Four's reaction, and we saw Tony and Cap's reaction about the medicine and us getting the sovereign state and all this stuff. So it'll be very interesting as going forward. And we saw Cyclops' interaction with the Fantastic Four over Sabretooth. So I'm excited to see how all that's going to work as well. But that brings us to the end of House of X and Powers of X, man. We made it.
Sorry, it took us a while, y'all. I'm pretty sure if you was waiting on us, you'd be disappointed. We sorry. But we made sure we knocked this out and we finished it. It was a good run. It was interesting. We had a lot of ups and downs. I definitely had fun reading it. With all the shit I said, I still would recommend it.
Definitely recommend for me too.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's
especially
just that whole,
it just doesn't. Once.
Yes. Yes, it's a lot better. It's a lot better when you can read it more than once, and I'll probably go back again and read it some more. But just the whole Phalanx thing, it was like House of X and Powers of X was like two toys, and like you really want to play with the the one dealing with the building and all that, and it's like, oh, I want to play this new one, but then Grandma got you this, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but can I get back to my other stuff? But the titles they got coming out, that's just with this, I'm very interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna run them down real quick. I got X-Men 1 that drops this week, October 16th. Whenever this drops October 16th. Right. Marauders #1, that's no shots, by the way. Marauders 1, October 23rd. Excalibur 1, October 30th. X-Force 1, November 6th. New Mutants 1, November 6th. And Fallen Angels #1. November 13th. So guess what, Maps? We're going to be reading X-Men books at least once a week, at least for this beginning run, for sure.
Oh, I know, yeah, that's not a problem. I'm fine with that. We're going to knock this out.
I'm reading all 6 of these bitches at least, and then seeing where I want to go from there.
I'm with that. We're just going to try to, we got caught up in the whole Marvel thing, which is not a problem. That's the whole point of this comment in the podcast, to blurt out and to get into stuff like that. But it's like, it's hard for us to keep up with the weekly every week with that stuff. It would be a lot, and like we're gonna do a lot more. Like last episode I did the masterclass. Me riffing about what I thought Joker was gonna be before I saw it for a while, and just talking about how I love the music from Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And then, and just a lot of interesting facts and shit about that. And we're gonna try to do more shit like that and anime reviews. Like we had Doc and we talked about Carol and Tuesday.
Yes, you did.
So we're gonna try to get into more stuff like that because just the weekly stuff is cool, but it's so many other dope, great comics. Me and Kel's been talking. Of course, we keep talking Spider-Man. It's coming.
Yeah.
Also coming up. We don't know when, but soon. So gonna go into Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
So if you guys have not heard about this, we're going to deep dive into that. I'm gonna want to go into all the stuff. The guy who wrote that he got a new one out called Snot Girl. We're gonna try to get in that too. We're getting it together.
Absolutely. That's what we're all about, man. We're rolling though, man. Like I think we got a solid team,
sure.
and I'm glad we were able to get together and knock out this House of X. We're about to sit down and we're gonna talk about Black Cat number 4 and 5. Cause yeah, Maps, I read it too.
Damn.
Yep. And a little ditty called
well
Punisher
played.
Kill Crew. So look out for that as well. But we're gonna end this episode right here, man. Cause I'm tired of talking about X-Men. How about you, Maps?
Yeah, I'm kind of X-Men out. We're gonna I was posting. I got this one I want to do on Jean Grey. We're gonna get to that eventually. But yeah, we're pretty much X-Men out, and it's like, I know talking to you about this is like, like with the X-Men, that shit low key takes a lot of, as lame as it sounds, emotional energy out of your ass, because it's like, oh man, like a minute ago he was like, oh shit, that was the Gorgon, and it's like,
I didn't realize, man, like that's not cool, Wolverine. That's not what happens.
No, it's not cool at all.
Stupid Krakoa making people friends and shit.
I also see a problem in the future with Krakoa. They keep pointing out that Krakoa is his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I see something's going to happen where Krakoa doesn't agree with them.
Yeah.
And I see at some point Krakoa going, siding with Apocalypse. Because let's keep it real, that's its oldest friend.
It's true. That is very true. Oh, see? Maybe Hickman's going to listen to this podcast and be like, oh yeah, let me write that down real quick.
If he doesn't get mad at me for the stuff we said. But it's like, for the most part, I'm not going to be, say anything to be nice to people. Because, like, last time we did the episode, me and Doc on the, I can't remember the name of the comic we did.
Was it Isola?
Isola, that's what it was. I'm sorry. And again, yeah, I should know this shit. Isola, yeah. And that was a good comic. But it's just the content was meh.
Yeah.
It was still good, and I still would recommend it. But it's like House of X and Powers of X. It's just, I get irritated because I know there was a better story in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand they have to make money, and you have to sell stuff. And it's like, what's better is not always what's easier. So I get that, and it's like, okay, compared to what? But also, we're going to get into the Black Cat later. I want to let y'all know that is a very good series.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It is, if you want to talk about, if they talk about, I don't know if you heard or not, they're trying to ship Valkyrie and Captain Marvel in the next Avengers movie and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, if you're trying to be on some forward-thinking shit, you need to have Black Cat.
Yeah, because let me just say that this is just a quick quote before we get out of here, man. Like, she's having you can read her thoughts as the story goes along, and she's like, things I expected today: steal a book, eat some sushi, maybe some makeouts, maybe more, see how I'm feeling.
Yeah, I like how when she, it's not real, like, preachy. I like when dude is like, first of all, she's a woman who runs, and I'm going to stop because I know me and him end up messing around viewing this shit. But she's a woman who runs a crew of men who trust her with their lives.
Yes, they do.
She fought this alien, and the dude was like, you're going to be mine. I like how her whole thing was like, you know what? I may be a woman. I am not a thing. I am a person, and I belong to myself. And it wasn't no I'm every woman thing. It was just like, and then she did that, and then she immediately went into how her dude was like, one of her goons, I'm going to protect you. And she went immediately, she said like some feminism stuff, not knocking it, but just saying how, let's say me, I could say, I don't want to hear that corny shit. Then immediately went into how hard mentally it is to not undersell people who are underneath you. If they say they're going to protect you, you have to believe in them.
Right.
And she went into like how it hurted her to know that he's probably going to die. But he made his decision in his own. And I thought that was really well written.
Yeah.
The whole thing is great.
Yeah. Shut up, Maps. We got to talk about it for another podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good, man. It was a great point. I don't want to take that away from you. So
yeah, I just think it's really well written.
So anyway, I'm Kellen Conley, and that is Miles Amadeus Prower.
Yeah.
And this has been a podcast called Fresh. Blerd up.
Blerd up.
And,
Peace.
Yeah, that thing. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. This has been a Hyphen Podcast Network production. They're the bestest. I'm getting paid an exposure.
I can't believe that Wolverine gave that nigga a beer, man. Fuck the Kraken, man.
Yeah, that was the power of that episode of that whole thing. That's why he wouldn't get that nigga a beer, and was like, "It's all love, baby."
I'm mad. I'm mad.